Most people who seek liberation from the illusion of the mind never achieve a permanent state of inner peace, not because they don't put in an effort, but because they focus on the wrong things that actually strengthen the mind, the ego consciousness. You've been meditating for years, practicing mindfulness, focusing on your breath. And because you see the positive shifts in your state over the years, but you are still worrying, you believe that in order to be peaceful and calm, you need to meditate more or meditate longer. Meanwhile, you are missing the one thing, the main point that will allow you to live fully present, being one with life and fully trusting life. You won't find inner peace and liberation from the mind on a sofa when meditating. Your whole life has been designed, and every moment of your life has been designed for you to liberate yourself from the illusion of the mind. If you are anything like I was, former high achiever, then whatever you want, whatever you desire, you will achieve because you will put an effort. And there is no like, I cannot do it, right? That's how I was. I did it. So when I wanted something, I achieved it. So when I learned in watching spiritual videos, and hearing about spiritual or gurus who liberated themselves from the mind, that it's possible that I followed the path and I would spend a lot of time meditating, healing myself, sitting in a sofa trying to achieve inner peace and samadhi. And I would get really frustrated because I have 3 kids. So I had 3 kids who were small, who were young, and I had my business, and I had responsibilities at home, in the business, errands to run, and I would rush through those things so I can get a quiet place, quiet time to meditate, so I can fulfill my mission and so I can achieve that inner peace that I wanted, so my mind stops thinking and so I can liberate myself from the illusion of the mind. Like, I intellectually knew that this world is an illusion, but I wasn't living it. But then through experiences which I share in my other videos on my channel, I realized one thing, and that realization completely changed how I looked at spirituality and what I did. I realized that if I was supposed to be meditating all day long, I wouldn't have my family. I wouldn't have 3 kids. I wouldn't have my family. I would be probably living as a monk in Himalayan mountains. Like, literally, I used my logic. It's like, there is no way. And then other realizations came and other experiences. And that made me to realize and see how every single moment of our life, of my life, has been designed for the liberation from the mind. And I was missing it because I was healing myself, I was meditating, I was doing all the spiritual practices, EFT, trying a lot of inner work. And I did record a separate video about how after 10 years, I quit all practices and replaced it with awareness after that realization. The ego, the mind, will use any experience and anything that you perceive to keep you in its illusion. So in the lower level of consciousness, you were, probably this was your life, because for sure it was mine, you were focused on building a business or building a career and achievements and goals and planning, right? And then something happened. I'm sure some kind of major event, negative major event in your life happened, and then which brought your awareness to spirituality. And then you started healing yourself and meditating. And that's how the ego used now spirituality to keep you in the illusion. And what I see every single client of mine doing, and that is what I was doing, I was trying to get things done in my life so I can focus on my spiritual ascension and spiritual involvement and healing myself. It was so important to heal myself and all those things. And they served at a certain point, but that was it. That was the separation ego was creating for me, and it creates for you. It creates for every single spiritual person with the same experience and as I had. That it creates this. There is a life, and there is this spiritual life. So there is life, there is business, there is family, and there is spiritual life. And I need to heal myself, and I need to get myself a 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day to sit in on the sofa and meditate, so I can calm my mind, so I can hopefully in 20 years achieve some kind of a liberation. That is all wrong. Eckhart Tolle says that life will give you any experience for evolution of your consciousness, basically for dissolving of the ego, for death of the ego. And that this situation is every single moment of yours. When you are trying to do something, get things done, let's say quickly make dinner because so you can journal or meditate or do whatever kind of spiritual work or spiritual practice, that is a separation, and that is a spiritual ego actually strengthening itself and keeping you from the liberation, keeping you from the realization of the inner peace. Why? Because it doesn't want to let go. So every single moment of your life has been created for you to be aware. And when you are aware, the ego will dissolve. I recorded several videos about the awareness, the power of awareness, how it's a direct way to dissolving the ego. And I created playlist so you can go and watch it. But this video is about that every single moment of your life is for you to be aware. Nothing happens by accident. Everything is always as it needs to be, but you don't see it because you rush through the daily life to go and heal yourself and meditate and focus on your breath. So the mind finally quiets down. But as I share in the video when I shared my journey, after I quit all those practices and I used only awareness, and every moment of my life I became aware, the mind, the ego, quieted down on its own. This is the nature of consciousness. It's absolutely fascinating. Like when I realized it, completely changed my view on spirituality, what spirituality really is. For 4 years, I haven't done any spiritual practice. I'm living every moment fully present, watching the ego, observing the ego, being aware of the ego, of the mind. And that's how it dissolved. It dissolves. So learn to be aware during your daily life. Use your daily life to liberate yourself from the mind consciousness, from the ego consciousness, and to realize inner peace. Your life is different than my life. Your work is different, where you live is different, but it's exactly how it needs to be. Your problems, the challenges you are experiencing, they are not just a random set of events. Nothing is an accident. Nothing, not a single moment in your day, when a car passes by, when a family member calls you, when you can't get a hold of someone, like when a phone rings, every single moment is there because it needs to be there and you don't see it. But when the ego, the mind dissolves, you will start perceiving it. It's so obvious, it's so clear. Now the question is, and you may ask, but what about Buddha? Because Buddha sat down under the tree and meditated and achieved enlightenment and inner peace. So why I cannot do that? And I asked myself the same very question, because it really bugged me that what's wrong with me? Why my mind constantly goes, why am I still reacting when I'm putting so much effort into healing and meditating and really trying hard? Well, you are not Buddha. That was Buddha, and that was his life, and that's how he was supposed to liberate himself from the mind and achieve and realize inner peace. And here is the thing. The ego will take anything you perceive and use it to keep you in illusion. So now you're looking at the Buddha story and you're like, well, that's what I need to do. I need to meditate under the tree, or if not under the tree, then on the sofa. and I need to do it a lot. If you were supposed to do that, you wouldn't have your business, you wouldn't have your family, you wouldn't have responsibilities, you wouldn't live in 21st century. So it's the same analogy as if you're trying to, let's say, grow your business, and you can be on YouTube and you see someone doing something and it really works for them and they swear like this works for me, and then you copy their strategy, whatever strategy, marketing strategy, social media strategy, funnel strategy, they say that it really works and it doesn't work for you. Why is that? Because it's their life, it's their strategy, it's supposed to work for them, not for you. But the ego looks at it and says like, that's what I need to do. No, the blueprint for your liberation is your every moment. Not looking at someone else's, whether it's Buddha or business, not. The ease of life comes from being aware in your life every single moment. That's how you dissolve. That's how ego dissolves. That's how the mind quiets down. That's how you become fully present. That's how you stop being reactive, because you perceive the illusion, you perceive the ego play, the mind play, and you perceive it, but you are no longer invested in it. So no matter what is going on, you're calm, you're peaceful, you are one with life, you fully trust life. And this is the way. This is the way. Do not copy Buddha. Do not copy another spiritual teacher. Do not copy anyone. Your life contains all elements for your liberation. You're always where you need to be. So be there fully from the morning when you open your eyes till the night when you close the eyes. Every moment has been designed for your liberation. Learn to be aware, and the mind will quiet down.